Okay, so what we're going to do today is do some simple people. It's a subject where people shy away from. They paint all these lovely landscapes and they don't want to put any people in case they make a mess. So what we have to do is think about the most basic shape, and I always start off with very simple carrot shape with a little dot on the top. There we are. Gives you the idea that it's a person. So from here, what I usually get my class groups to do is think about your carrot and put him into different positions. So let's have a carrot. Sitting down. There we go. I think he's texting somebody on his phone there. And we'll just fill that carrot out just a little bit. So we can work with these shapes and just think about bending your carrot into different shapes. Have a little carrot there as well. Very, very simple, very, very easy to do. When you're drawing people, we need to think about proportions, and what we often find is with my learners we get big heads, flat bodies, two arms, two legs, and you have something that looks not very realistic, not very lifelike at all. One, because of the proportions, and two, because it's completely filled in. It doesn't have any shape to it. So if we make the head smaller, leave a little space between the body and the neck, leave little spaces as you paint in the body shape. Let's have the arms closer to the body. And the fella's walking, maybe he's got 1 foot up in the air and 1 foot on the ground. So you see how that immediately looks a lot better than this fellow here. Putting a bigger head on something makes it look immediately more like a child, because a child has a bigger head than an adult does in relation to the rest of its body. So doing that shape again, keeping it very simple, putting a short little head on it. You get the idea that you've got some movement there, you've got some light hitting it, it's not completely flat. So from there, we just want to add a little bit of colour. So let's do the same. We're putting in some red in our carrot this time. I just need a bit more water. So there's the top of the carrot shape, leaving little bits of white here and there. The legs. Usually if a person's walking, they've got one leg on the ground and the other leg, it's just like a half a leg, because it's up in the air. Obviously we need some hair on a head like that. Let me just broaden her out just a little bit. There we are. We have somebody walking along the road. Like so. So when you come to add your people to your street scene, we need to think about where to place them. You will have in your picture an eye level or a horizon line. And eye level, if you think about your eye level, is eye level to somebody in that picture. So we can put in a carrot and put his head on eye level. Now that height would be the same for all carrots in that picture. So we're going on the average height human. And what happens is their eyes are all roughly at the same height, but as they come closer to you, their feet become further down your painting. Further they are away from you, the shorter they are. So you can build your crowd walking down the street using this technique and get everybody at the correct height. Obviously, if you have a child in the picture, the child's eye level is going to be different. So you couldn't put the child head at the same height as the adult. But if you follow that rule and keep that as a rough guide for getting your people in the right place. The other thing you have to remember is if you've got a house in your picture or a building in your picture, you have to remember that your person needs to be able to fit into that building in your picture. So if your building is running off like that, make sure that your person is standing next to the door that's the right size for him, or a lamppost or whatever. If you've got uprights in your picture, then you can always relate your people to something that's upright in your picture. It could be lampposts, fence posts, whatever. But keep them all on that eye level. Think about that. Making them bigger, making them longer as you come further forward into your picture. So this little picture shows the children's head height. So what I've done there is, if this was a scenario where the kids are coming or going to school, you know, the kids would have their heads at one level and the adults would have their head at another, and you see the feet are moving higher up the picture the further they are away, and that's how you would set the scene for a picture with children and adults in there.